A man parks a Ferrari on his balcony. China bans retractable EV doors, and Spain bans antlers on their cars. This is Weekly Car News. Too cold for the road, too expensive for a garage. A man in Vienna, Austria parked his Ferrari on his balcony. This wouldn't be a big deal. Apparently in Dubai they do this a lot. But he filmed it and made a big deal out of it. It even became news. The news article says, "Plenty of car enthusiasts know the seasonal routine. When winter rolls in, the fun cars go into hibernation. Tucked away somewhere dry and climate controlled to stay safe and warm. But for one man in Vienna, the annual ritual came with an unexpected snag. He was short exactly one parking spot. The car in question, a Ferrari 296 GTB. So he did what any douche with a lot of money would consider. He hired a crane to put the car on his own balcony. I mean, that's super unsafe. You don't know how old the building is, and, well, there's more people living in these buildings. You don't know if they can hold the weight of the car. It's a balcony." The authorities shut him down faster than he could say prancing horse. The man is a 28-year-old, the owner of an auto parts tuning business in Vienna. According to local reports, he has several high-end cars, including a Porsche Panamera, BMW M2, and a Range Rover Sport. Clearly the Ferrari is his favorite. That's why he wanted to put it on the balcony. He hired a crane to come over and lift his car into said balcony, and planned to put a box around the car as if it were a piece of art for the winter. It's strange that this guy can afford a Ferrari, but he can't afford a house that has a garage, or at least to rent out a garage, right? So he lifted the car, and of course he made a spectacle out of it, filming the entire process. Of course it's for social media clout. Craning a Ferrari into a balcony on broad daylight. According to the article, the cost was in the 4-digit range. Well, I wouldn't expect less. He said that it wasn't strange to do this in Dubai, that this was totally normal, putting cars into balconies. In Vienna, authorities snuffed out the fun though. Within a week, they'd informed the owner of the Ferrari that he had to bring it back down to earth. Evidently, concerns about the building's structural rigidity and fire safeties are to blame. Surprisingly, it went up just fine and it came down the same, so the car was undamaged. But it was a pricey thing for the owner. Maybe next time he'll just rent out a garage. Now our next story is from Spain. The Spanish government is cracking down, or at least was cracking down in the holidays, on some horrible car modifications. You would think it's some kind of modification that will cause vehicles to crash or visibility issues or something, right? But no, the great big modifications that they're cracking down on is the cars have reindeer antlers and hearts in the front or noses. People are dressing their cars like reindeers. But it's not like the Dumb and Dumber sheepdog kind of thing. It's just small little antlers on top of the cars and little nose in front of the vehicle. That's it. It's nothing too serious or something that I would say dangerous. But the authorities in Spain don't see it that way. Spain traffic authorities have issued a warning to motorists who decorate their vehicles for festive seasons. The DGT clarified that any accessories extending beyond a car's approved width, height, or length may be considered an unauthorized modification. This includes decorations fixed to the roof, bonnet, or other accessory surface, which could affect vehicle stability, visibility, or operation of safety systems. The warning comes aimed on growing popularity on festive decorations on cars, but authorities stress that safety and legal compliances are paramount. Yeah, I don't think that antlers on cars and those kind of decorations are anything to worry about. I've heard that the Spanish government is really strict on modifications on vehicles. So Fast and Furious would never happen in Spain. I mean, have you seen that wing on the Supra in Fast and Furious? It's huge. I think the government in Spain just want a reason to fine people. On a similar story, cars wrapped with Christmas lights showed up all over the US and around Christmas time. Of course, this is actually highly illegal, mostly because the lights distract drivers, so it's an illegal thing. A few of them got tickets, and a few other ones never got caught. So yeah, but as long as the car doesn't move and it's parked, it's not illegal. Imagine if the Spanish government got these, they would have a heart attack. Now let's move to another story. China bans retractable EV door handles over safety concerns. China will ban retractable car handles beginning January 1st, 2027, amid growing safety concerns that electrical power designs can prevent passengers from escaping or being rescued from mishaps. The ban appeared in a draft of a new automotive door handle safety regulations. Under the proposed rules, vehicles weighing less than 3.5 tons must be equipped with an interior and an exterior car door handle that include mechanical emergency opening functions. The requirement is intended to ensure doors can be opened during power failure or after a collision. Online reactions in China have been largely supportive, with many users on social media backing stricter safety requirements for vehicle designs. But on this side of the pond, there are no regulations for those kinds of vehicles and the doors, even though there have been reports of the electric door handles in Teslas not functioning. Just this month, a Virginia state trooper bashed the window of a burning Tesla Model Y when its doors wouldn't open and pulled the driver to safety. A dramatic rescue captured by the police officer's dashcam. So yeah, those electric handles on Teslas and on electric vehicles are a bit of a problem or a bit of a safety hazard. In another story, car payments now average more than $750 a month. So yeah, new cars are getting way more expensive, and so are monthly payments. A typical new car broke the 50,000 barrier. The price of a new car and truck in the US has increased 33% since 2020, and consumers are piling on interest as they stretch out loan terms to 8, 9, or nearly 10 years. So there are a lot of factors why cars are so expensive. This includes inflation, tariffs, and the biggest effect really comes down to choice. Choice is being made by both consumers and automakers. People want those really equipped cars that have a ton of screens and electronics, and the more electronics you have in a vehicle, well, the more expensive it's gonna be. Also, SUVs have become a big thing. Everyone wants an SUV, so of course that's gonna make cars more expensive. For example, the Corolla, it's mostly the same price that it's always been. It's just that inflation has caused it to raise its price a bit, but it's fairly affordable. But it seems that people don't want to buy them for some reason. They want the bigger SUVs, the bigger trucks, and of course that's gonna make automakers to just build more trucks and SUVs and make them more expensive. So yeah, it comes down to people choosing more expensive vehicles. But it kind of makes sense for automakers. I mean, they want to sell the bigger and more expensive vehicles. They don't want to sell the Corolla, right? Corolla is affordable, it's cheap, it doesn't make a lot of profit. So automakers will push the bigger SUVs, the bigger trucks, the more expensive ones. And a lot of times people fall for it. I mean, they look shiny, nice, big, a lot of technology. That's a few of the reasons why vehicles are so expensive and why it can take 100 months to pay a car loan. Now, in another story, BMW files patent for screws. The article reads, BMW has never been shy about doing things in their own way. Sometimes that results in clever solutions, like gaining access to Tesla's supercharger network. Other times, it produces ideas that sound brilliant on paper, but proves to be far less friendly in the real world, like the glamorous but famously temperamental S85 B10. BMW's latest screw patent leads towards the temperamental. While the new screw head design is kind of clever and unmistakably BMW, it appears purposely built to keep ordinary owners well away from working on their cars, on their BMWs. What makes this more frustrating is that the competition is moving in another direction. Mercedes-Benz, for example, has recently spoken about redesigning future vehicles to make them easier to repair, not harder. But BMW, with this bold design, they want to make fixing their cars harder. Instead of Torx, hex, or any other recognizable screw head, this one is shaped like BMW's logo, creating a pattern that standard tools simply cannot engage with. Based on the patent details, these screws are intended for structural and semi-structural applications. BMW also outlines several variations of the design, including socket heads, flat heads, and rounded heads. In theory, that opens the door for the not so user-friendly fasteners to appear in a wide range of places. So yeah, that's gonna be a headache for anyone that buys a BMW. But we all know why BMW is doing this. It's so people can't fix their cars and you have to take them to their shop to get them repaired. But it doesn't really matter, because even if they make this special bolt, someone in China is gonna make a tool for this bolt and it's gonna cost probably $5. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And it doesn't matter how much these companies try to stop mechanics from working on their cars, or any car enthusiast mechanic who works on their cars, they will do it and they will make their own tools if they have to. On another car news, Ford pulls the plug on their all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning. Ford Motor Company has ceased production of the all-electric F-150 Lightning and will focus instead on hybrid vehicles and future lines of smaller, cheaper EVs. Ford says the move is following customers' demand and reflect the reality that the all-electric Lightning was a money loser, and Ford concluded it always would be. The American customer is speaking clearly, and they want the benefit of electrification like instant torque and mobile power, but they also demand affordability. The all-electric F-150 Lightning was a big deal for Ford. It was announced in 2021 and was apparently going to be sold for the low price of $40,000. But once it hit the production lines, Ford was never able to sell it for even close to what they promised. The 2025 model started at around $55,000. The Lightning in particular struggled with reliability. Shoppers were turned off by its limited range when towing. Why buy a truck that can tow stuff, right? So that'll do it for the news. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I will see you later.